Welcome everybody, and I think that was a pretty powerful showcase of 4 very distinct, classy movies there, and thank you to our 2 movie makers for coming up and agreeing to have a Q&A with us. Could you just... there we go. Lovely. Good. If you could introduce yourself first, and what project you worked on, and what your role on that project was.
Hello, it's great to be at the Romford Film Festival. Thank you very much for having us. My film is Terminus. It's an experimental film, and I'm the writer, exec producer, and actor.
Thank you.
I'm Alfie Stewart. I'm the writer, director, and actor of Monico Perseus, which was the 2nd film. And I just want to say, I'd rather be at Romford Film Festival than Cannes.
Ooh. Hey, Alfie,
where they all think their farts smell like Chanel No. 5, don't they?
Well, I don't know. I can't top that now. That's basically it. We could finish on that, but I'm not going to. So, Terminus. Terminus, a lovely piece of movie making that, through the medium of dance, music, and visual storytelling, successfully conveys the eternal interplay of the elements as they're forced to encounter the darkness and intrusion of civilization. Am I close?
Very.
That's fantastic. So, first question. Okay, so for a while we had this playful, sort of whimsical, magical feel going on. But then we get this sort of metaphorical Victorian tea party that happens. Could you tell us exactly, I have my interpretation, but you're the writer and performer, can you tell us exactly what this represents?
Well, the Victorian Tea Party is kind of like the start of the Industrial Revolution. Obviously, the film's about the climate crisis and how, and it's seen through the eyes of the 4 elements, as you said, earth, air, fire, and water. And I guess that's the turning point in the film, humans' impact on our planet and the pollution, plastic pollution and oil and air pollution, etc. And obviously we see the sort of horror unfold as the characters, are affected by this pollution. And then obviously we see kind of their fight back as they affect humankind. And it's kind of like, if we want to stay on this planet, on our beautiful planet, then we need to kind of look after it if we want to stay longer. It's kind of as simple as that, really. And I was really inspired to write it by my 2 boys who are in the film, Archie and Ray. And they kind of know more about the climate crisis than I do because of people like Greta Thunberg. And so I was kind of inspired to write it with them, and they were kind of with me throughout the whole journey of the filmmaking process, which was really interesting.
Thank you. But just moving on from that, just to get a little bit more sort of clarity on what's going on there. So Terminus means end, final point. Is this kind of like your personal sort of warning to us all? It's just saying if we don't watch what we're doing, we're in trouble here on this planet. We could literally wipe ourselves out. Is that kind of the correct?
Yeah, it's really cheery.
It's
basically, this is the life journey of our planet. We are on this planet for a small amount of time, and if we want to stay longer, we need to respect and look after our planet. It's kind of really simple. It is really doom and gloom, but also there are many, many initiatives out there all around the world where people are trying to combat the climate crisis and to keep kind of our planet in balance. So there are some really positive things going on out there, and great projects and initiatives moving forward. But essentially, it's a bit of a warning, I guess.
Lovely, thank you. I'm going to come on to Alfie now. So Monico Perseus is, in my opinion, a very determined, cutting-edge piece that speaks to domestic abuse, neglect, and just importantly, learned behaviour. I think this was one of the key messages, was certainly what I took from it. It's resolute in its message and it pulls few punches in its very abrasive style of filmmaking. You start with a very nice metaphoric shot, walking across the mud flats of sunny Canby.
Yeah.
But when you get there, Sam, your brother, wonderfully played by Sam Barnard, he don't want to go. Not initially. What's going on there as a writer? Could you explain that to us and what your thought processes were?
Stockholm syndrome.
Okay, yeah.
And just the uncertainty of the unknown.
So did you grasp the unknown?
Well, eventually, I think via playing the guitar, I sort of softened him and, brought him back to, it's just us having fun. Let's just, go on the adventure and just be like when we was young again.
Yes.
So eventually, I guess he did embrace the unknown, because he decided to go. And also, the dad's a scary figure. So if you're going to go against someone like that, you have to be courageous.
Absolutely, thank you. And you start with then we have 3 examples after you get there of your learned behaviour. I mean, literally 3 examples of your learned behaviour from your father, who you're kind of mad at and want to get your brother away from, but you're literally copying everything he does. You coerce your brother, you steal money from your dad, you go outside, you commit violence by punching somebody, and then you walk out into the unknown. You're kind of literally copying everything he's done. Was that a key message of the movie, or have I completely got it wrong?
No, it was definitely a message. But the initial idea I had was I wanted him to do something heinous and violent and within 7 minutes get people to sort of think that it was justified. And I just wanted to play with that because I like the whole anti-hero idea of us having, all these different possibilities within us, and sometimes we can be capable of terrible things, but it comes from a good place, so that was the essential seed of it. But also, when I thought of the line "you're not like him," I was really happy with myself then, because it's that ties into are you genetically tethered to behave in a certain way, or like you say, learned behaviour. Can he escape that? Can he escape what he's sort of been conditioned to be?
I was going to come to that. You're not like him. I think that's one of the most powerful lines in the entire movie. But whilst you're with him at that exact moment in the story, you're saying to him you don't understand. But he does. He said you're not like him. Was that really crucial? I mean, you were pleased when you got that, when that came to you, but is that one of the key messages I should take away from the movie?
Yeah, it is, because this is the thing. And the great thing about Sam is he understands a lot more than people give him credit for. And we've got a lot to learn from Sam. It's just really refreshing to be around Sam, because he isn't bogged down by a lot of stuff that, people like myself get bogged down with, general, darkness and, sort of ideas like that, and thinking in these sort of, I don't know, depressing channels or whatever people do. And obviously intelligence is a bad thing a lot of the time, because, I've read the Extinction Rebellion book and that just depressed the shit out of me. The more you know about that, the sadder you'll be. Ignorance is bliss, sadly. Also, I don't advocate ignorance, but it is bliss if you've got the mind to accept it. But anyway, I'm digressing. What was the...
No, absolutely, no. And I want to move on to the end as well, because the end is incredibly poignant ending. And, it's sad to a point, because you've committed all these acts completely similar to your father for what in your heart are good reasons. You take him away from what has been previous violence, despite the fact that you were in prison or wherever for something we don't know. And then you take him away and you're sitting on the beach eating fish and chips, and he's kind of really got nothing. And then we hear the sirens in the background. That's incredibly poignant piece. That's a fantastic ending. Did it all come to you in one go? Did it kind of was one day you just, boom, this is it? Or did it come slowly, all these ideas?
Well, I've known Sam for about 6 years. We was in an episode of Casualty together. We played brothers, and we just had this really good chemistry, and I, just stayed friends with him, and always sort of thought, if I make something, it should definitely be based around our friendship. And then my brother had this image in his head of me wearing a grey tracksuit going across the marshes, and then from that, basically just from that seed of a image, then I just thought of the whole idea. Yeah. And I've worked with Andrew Tiernan, who played the dad. I was in an episode of Ripper Street with him, and I'd done a play with him, and he's an incredible actor, because that's a difficult part to execute the way that he did. And I knew that he would be able to, with such a small amount of time, to be vicious and horrible, but still have that like sensitiveness coming through a little bit, which that's how I'd see it. I hope other people did. But yeah, I think he executed it really well. And in my mind, he's done some awful stuff. That's why I beat him up, because like he's done terrible stuff. That's how I justified it in my head. Like I created all this intricate backstory of exactly what had happened, and I think that's how you get all the richness of it.
Absolutely, but and again, an incredible moment, because in a way, despite your goodwill and intention to take your brother away, he's manipulated you and maintained power and control, because he easily pushed you to the point of hurting him and putting him on the floor by a couple of words about Mum. So that's an incredibly powerful piece of writing at that point. Thank you, that was great.
Cheers.
So back to you, Tippy. So you're writer, performer, producer. How does that work with the director and the choreographer on a piece that is so visual? How does that work? Were you clashing? Was this a problem? Did you just gel as friends straight away and all sort of brainstorming great ideas together? What was the process there?
Well, we worked very much as an ensemble, really, like on stage, I had the initial idea and obviously wrote the script, and I was very lucky to work with the brilliant director Jamie Weston, who very much knew straight away, so we were on the same wavelength from the start, and I'd seen obviously his work as well. I'd worked with him before as well, again based in Essex. And then we got this fantastic choreographer on board called Amber Jarman, and she just clicked and knew exactly what I was talking about. I obviously did lots of visual presentations, like storyboarding and things like that. And there was some performances on a channel called Nowness, which showcases music videos and that kind of thing, fashion videos. So I kind of drew from that as well, inspiration from that. And, Jamie was the one to suggest using anamorphic lenses to kind of get that real sort of fantasy feel, that real sort of surreal feel. And obviously the DOP was fantastic, Bea. Again, she just, I don't know, we just all just clicked with it, and we went on this mad, crazy journey together. It sounds really cheesy, but I don't know, when you click like that with people, when you're making a film, it's just like magic, isn't it? It's just, things happen, and even mistakes were made, but we kind of wove that in as well.
Happy accidents.
Happy accidents. Love that. Yes.
Thank you. And you had this extremely vibrant, progressive score. How did that come about, and how did it work in the mix? And did you shoot everything first? Talk us through that.
So very early on, I got a composer on board called Tim Benjamin. He's won a lot of awards, and he's written an opera that I went to see up in Manchester, and I just knew I really wanted to work with him. So we shot it, and then I sent him a load of sort of the clips from it, so he kind of could really get an idea of what it was going to look like, and also an idea of the colour grade, because the colour grade was really important. We really wanted the colours to pop. And I think that sort of really meshed with the music as well and the sound. And he was great. He did like composed a couple of versions, and we discussed it, and then he went back and tweaked it, and then kind of added all the sound effects as well, like me when I came up the water, kind of added all that. So
Nice.
sort of layering the sound. The sound was really important because there was no dialogue, so we really wanted the sound to help carry the story forward.
Yeah, and it was really perfectly aligned to the actual images on the screen, so that was great. We've got a couple of minutes left. Would love some questions from the audience if anybody's got one. I just got a mic coming out. Just a moment.
Yeah, Alfie, I just wondered how you came up with the title, because it doesn't give anything away. To me, it doesn't.
Right, so Monaco is the name of a pub on Canvey, where a lot of people get glassed and stuff. And Perseus is the demigod who slayed monsters from Greek mythology. So, sort of like, thought my character was a bit like a Monaco Perseus in a way. I thought it sounded cool as well, to be fair. Like,
It does, yeah.
yeah.
That's a great reason. I love it. Yeah, the Slayer of Medusa.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Question down the front, I think. Spencer or Peter? Oh, sorry.
Just another one for Alfie. I found the characters to be very believable. I thought it was quite well written. But I know you're a writer and an actor. I'm interested, what's the process behind the lines there? Is there a lot of actor input? Especially, I'm curious about sound signs. Did he do his own lines, or were they written for one?
It's a mixture of improvisation and written lines, to be honest. Like the whole last scene, I didn't even write anything for it. Well, I did, but I knew that it had to be improvised because Sam, in order to get Sam to really be himself in his full element, you just have to improvise. You can't sort of be constricted by lines. Whereas on the boat, we stuck to the lines that were written a little bit more, sort of like 50% improvised, 50% lines, and it was just a risk that I knew I could take with Sam, and I felt like that's in essence like what makes the film what it is, because I think if you stay too tight to a script, it just sort of loses something. It loses an essence of reality and unpredictableness that gives it, just an authenticity that hopefully came across.
Yes.
Hang on, just running.
Easy.
So Alfie, I mean, in your film, I could see that as like a feature. Would you ever consider doing that?
Have you got any money for me? Or do you know anyone that's got some money?
Alas, no, but it would be wonderful.
No, mate, I really would like to make it into a feature, and I've got a bunch of ideas. I've got some stuff written down. It's just about getting the time and the money to really go at it. You know what I mean? In all honesty, I think the same thing. And we've not put it online yet for everyone to see, so we've not made it public. So we're coming to the end of our festival run now, and we'll put it online, and then maybe we can sort of use that as a calling card to potentially make a feature. But yeah, I appreciate that, mate. I think so too. I definitely think there's a lot, of expansion possibilities.
Okay. How long was it, the whole thing from page to screen? How long did the whole process take? Because I imagine the actual setup took quite a long time, didn't it?
Well, we shot it in Epping Forest, the beautiful Epping Forest, which is just up the road. And the shoot took 2 days in the middle of summer, and it rained for the first half of the first day. I was like, oh, fuck. So that was a bit of a nightmare and quite ironic because we were doing a film about climate change in the middle of summer. But actually, it kind of worked out really well because all the colours really popped after that, and the forest just sort of sucked up the moisture, and it made it really nice to perform on the floor. It was really nice, sort of spongy floor after that. Anyway, so the whole process, well, I wrote it quite quickly because I kind of had the idea already, and I worked on it with my two boys who were in it. But then after we shot it, obviously there was COVID, and our editor got stuck in Poland with all our footage and everything. So we had to kind of wait for that to kind of readjust. But actually, having that time really gave us some sort of breathing space to kind of really figure out exactly what we wanted to say, and the exact shots we wanted to use. So it was quite nice having that bit of kind of breathing space. So yeah, it took longer than anticipated.
And I just quickly say, it's not actually a question, but what I really got from your film was how it was very animalistic and primal, the way they was all moving. And obviously when the Tea Party came out, it was all it just made me sort of think of how humans are all in conflict with the animal, and then the other side of us that's wants to flush our poo away and just pretend we're not animals, kind of thing. And that's what I got from it. I felt and you said about the Industrial Revolution and all that, but to me the Tea Party was it felt like it sort of signified the other part of our nature that's non-animalistic. That's the side that's probably damaging us more, the side that's almost over-evolved, you could potentially call it.
Thanks, that's really nice to hear. Yeah. Yep.
Right, well, we have got to wrap now because we are running short of time. Thank you, Alfie. Thank you, Tippy. And we loved your movies. All the best for the future.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.